Welcome to the 25th episode of the Tertius Times podcast. Today is Friday, September 24th, 2021. I'm your host, Brian Wright, and today in the news segment, we will look at Judaism in Uganda and the implications freedom of religion it expresses. We will also continue to hear from Ssebaggala Moses, director of Shared Love Uganda. Today, he will discuss in further detail the origin and the work of Shared Love Uganda. Theme for this week has been on Central and East Africa, corresponding to this week's interview. The links to the stories and Shared Love Uganda are in the description. Today is Save North Korean Refugees Day, with various activities to be held this evening in Washington, D.C. Details will be provided at the end of the podcast. The link to more information is in the description. Although oppression or persecution is not directly mentioned in this article, Abayudaya, the practicing African Judaist of Uganda from the EastAfrican, September 3rd, 2021. It is indicative of the level of freedom of religion in Uganda. This story is, of course, interesting in and of itself, for it speaks of the only officially recognized body of Jewish believers, or Abayudaya, in sub-Saharan Africa. There are other African Jews, particularly in Nigeria, but as the article points out, Uganda is home to the only officially recognized rabbi, Rabbi Gershom Wambede. The Jewish Agency for Israel is the only official certifying body to recognize Jewish communities. The particular community focused on in the article resides in Mbale, in eastern Uganda, only 23 miles or 37 kilometers from the Kenyan border. The Abayudaya community is relatively small, for, quote, believers are only about between 2,000 and 3,000 followers, according to Mr. Konkodi, unquote, who is the caretaker of the Stern Synagogue in Mbale. In Uganda overall, there are 8 worship centers and 2 synagogues. There is only 1 worship center, each in Kenya, Tanzania, and Madagascar. Nigeria, however, has 60 synagogues, but the number of Jews is difficult to determine since, as Wambede stated in the article, other Judaism communities in Africa are not recognized in Israel because none of them have an ordained rabbi, unquote. Rabbi Wambede is seeking to change that as he is, quote, currently working with the Nigerian communities to help them at least have 1 ordained rabbi, unquote. Pray for all those who live in Uganda, no matter the beliefs they claim and the practices they observe, that they will continue to live free of governmental control, intrusion, or oppression. Let us be thankful and celebrate the freedom of conscience the people of Uganda enjoy, and pray that their country, as well as their neighboring countries, experience blessings as a result. And now let's listen to the final segment of my interview with Ssebaggala Moses, director, Shared Love Uganda. In this segment, he provides more detail on the work Shared Love Uganda is doing in the country. Welcome back to this final segment of our interview with Ssebaggala Moses, director of Shared Love Uganda. It's in Kampala, Uganda, in East Africa. And today we're going to learn about the actual organization a little bit more of Shared Love Uganda. So Moses, tell us what the organization is and what it's doing.
Okay, thank you very much. Nice to meet you again. As I say, that Shared Love Uganda began 2009 as a result of the high illiteracy rate in the community, where children used to get married at early age, like 12, 13, and some men, they used to go and drink beers, and they say, if you give me maybe this kind of beer, I'll give you my daughter for marriage. So those are some things that used to happen. Now,
Right.
when Shared Love Uganda began, we wanted to address that, and we started by constructing a small school with kindergarten and primary 1 until we reached primary 7. But we had an aim of addressing even other areas. So we had to have staff who could go in the community just to sensitize people about the rights of a child. So have social workers who go in communities, we meet with the police, we go and talk to people about the child abuse, about the proper parenting workshops, about the child or adversaries, why people behave the way they behave. So those are some of the things that we started doing. Now, when the children came to school, or when the children come to school, being a Christian school, we instill also Christianity in them, Christian values, but at the same time, but we don't force anyone to become a Christian, but we talk about Christ, and amazingly, we have seen children giving their lives to Christ too, and loving the Lord because of the good services that have been offered to them. So the school now, it goes up premise 7. The biggest challenge that we have been having is having accommodation for the teachers, because they have to walk long distances to the school, yet in the community there are no houses at all. I mean, they are trying to construct some, but not in good conditions. So that has been the biggest challenge. And also having children who are dropping out of school when parents cannot afford to pay tuition. That's what Shared Blessings Christian Ministries in Modesto, through Audrey Foster, who is the founder of that organization, helped to mobilize some people to sponsor at least a child. And so that kind of sponsorship helps to bring a child in school. And also that money, we use it to empower communities with maybe projects, community projects, so that they start up some small income generating activities. That has helped a lot. And also through that sponsorship, we have managed to construct a health center, which is really, really good. Yes, the health center have been constructed. The first one, because the nearest was about 5 or 7 miles away from the community. And the people, most especially women, they used to have children to produce children within the community. And there used to be a lot of death in the community. Why? Because they used to have these traditional birth attendants. And how do you qualify to be a traditional birth attendant? That depends on how many children you have delivered. You yourself, if you've been a mother for maybe 10 children, so you qualify to be a traditional birth attendant. So Shared Love Uganda is trying to address that. And also we started also working on water issues, because people used to share water with animals. And we started mobilizing some people, some partners to come on board to see that at least we have at least one borehole each village. We are still looking for more expansion on that, so that we have enough water sources in the area. And also because 97%, most of the people, they practice peasant farming. So we've been having some basics in doing, in teaching them how to do proper farming. And also skilling also has been one of the big issue, where we train people to have at least a skill, so that by the time students are through with education, they are able to have a skill, maybe through tailoring or brickwork, among others. So those are some of the things that we're teaching them. Yes, in nutshell, that's what Shared Love Uganda is doing, unless you have questions.
Very good. So a big focus is kind of breaking those cycles of abuse and neglect that these children unfortunately encounter. Am I right in saying that?
Yes, you're very, very right. So Shared Love Uganda is like a voice in the community that will stop child abuse, so that children are given their rights. Very and good. So that also adults and leaders, they know what they are supposed to do to save the lives of these voiceless children.
All right. So once again, I can't thank you enough, Moses Ssebaggala, for joining me, for talking about all these issues that we've covered. And hopefully we can do this again soon sometime.
Thank you very much for your time and all that you've discussed. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Today is Save North Korean Refugees Day. For more information, follow the link in the description. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you found the information and interview presented here useful and that it encouraged you to pray for these people and areas of concern, and perhaps even inspire you to take positive steps of involvement to alleviate the suffering of so many around the globe. Finally, pray with me that God's peace, eternally beyond our comprehension, guard the hearts and minds of all those who follow Christ and flows outward to bring that peace to all the world.